Hi all, this is Modulated Music. Today I'm going to do a little patch from scratch with my tiny techno system. This is inspired a little bit by Mylar Melody's little palette techno system. It's also takes some ideas from other small systems that I've tried to put together in the last year or so, but after seeing his, I was really inspired to kind of sit down and redesign it from scratch. So it does take some ideas from his, such as the percol, but I'm using totally different oscillators, filters. So I wanted to do a little patch from scratch. Now I had to make one concession. I don't have enough mixing in the case to do all the mixing I need, so I am actually going to be using this little Bastille Dude, which is like a 5-channel mono mixer. It has some good overdrive if you want to. And then I'm going to route that back out and into the mixer. So everything else should be on board here. And so what we'll do is I'll start by talking about the modules I picked. I've got the noise tools up here for my 1U, and I can do a clock here. I can also do noise out, and I also have a slew circuit if I want to do some like slides for my pitches and stuff. I have a dual attenuverter, or I guess it's an attenuator. Anyway, this is I can use it in a couple different ways. I can use it to submix a couple of my voices, or I can use it to modulate the filter knobs so that I have bigger knobs if I want to move like the filter cutoff on like my MMF here. I've got the peak, which is a 1U version of the peaks, and I'm using it mostly for my kick drum because it's got some really good tones you can get for the kick drum. Over here is just a USB power if I want to charge a phone or something like that. Then I've got the Robox Sweet 16, SWT 16. I think it's Robo Sweet 16. It's a 16-channel trigger sequencer, and I'm using it to drive triggers for everything in the case. And then my sequencer, I'm using the Noise Engineering Vox Digitalis, which is a really simple, it can be up to 16 steps. It can generate random pitches and stuff like that. I really wish it had like different scales, like you could lock it to, hey, I only want you to generate pitches within this scale, but as far as I know, you can't do that. And then I've got the DivKid Ran Step, which is my sample and hold. I also have another sample and hold up here if I'd rather use that, but the Ran Step seems to be pretty good because I'm using it for pitch information. For my oscillator section, I've got the Pico VCO from Erica Sense, which is a simple wavetable oscillator. I'm using, for the filter for that, I'm using the WMD Carbon, which is like a wavefolding filter, and it's a very good sounding filter. It's quickly becoming one of my favorite filters. You can add saturation, you can add wavefolding, you can just use it in a simple low pass mode to get a nice smooth sounding filter. So it's got a couple different modes. I really like that. My other voice is my Knit, which is a Platts DIY version, and this is the Antinumbra one, I think, but it's just like a Platts, and it's running into a 2HP MMF. And then I'm using the percol for my envelopes and VCAs for everything, similar to the way that Mylar was doing on his. So my other drum voices are coming from noise into the percol for my hats, and then I'm using a Pico Drum 2 to get claps or snares or whatever. I can also use the second channel on my peak to get a snare if I want to. Then I do have internal mixing, and I do have internal effects, but I just have the FX8. I just have one of them. So I normally will submix my two voices together, bring them into the effects aid, and then bring the effects aid into here. The mix-up is pretty cool because with the palette case, it actually will go to the 1/4-inch jacks. So I can route all my mixing into the mix-up, and then behind the scenes, it's going to the 1/4-inch. So I'm actually recording 1/4-inch out stereo into my Zoom recorder over here that's off camera. And then I've got the Dude, like I said, for some sub-mixing of the drums because I just don't have quite enough channels. This is really only 4 channels because I have 1 mono, 2 mono, 3 stereo, 4 stereo. But I'll probably use one of these as mono. Actually, if I sub-mix all of my drums, that'll actually give me mutes for each of my drums on the Dude. And I also have mutes here. So it's a pretty performative system. And I just wanted to do a patch from scratch. So I think what we're going to start with is is we're going to start by actually getting a clock signal. So I'm going to take my pulse out into here. It's going to give us a pulse and a clock. And then I can clock. I don't know if I'll need the clock for anything else, but I'm going to go ahead and clock this. As you can see, it goes through the 16 steps, and this can actually do, I think, up to 64 steps. It's got a bunch of different modes in here. So like this is like the step programming mode. So I've gone into channel 1, which is the top channel here, and you can see I've got a 4 on the floor pattern kind of put in there right now. So I'm going to go out into trigger 1, and then we're going to bring this in here. So I got myself a 4 on the floor. And the next one I'm going to do is the kick, or the snare. And what I'm probably going to do at this point is I'll probably submix these. Well, you know what? I'm going to keep the kick. Yeah, I'll keep the kick there. And I'm going to submix the snare with the hats. That's what I'll do. That way I have individual control over that kick. So I'll bring this in here, and then we'll go into channel 1 on my dude. So we'll turn it on, and then I'm going to come out of the output on the dude and go into channel 2 here. And this Pico Drum 2 has a bunch of different modes in it. It can do some kicks and stuff too. It can do claps. And if I want to change the pattern, I can go into pattern mode, channel 2, and you can see try to speed it up a little bit. It's pretty sensitive, so. Okay. Now I can actually mute these channels, or that channel, if we want the kick, just so we can hear the clock. Alright, so for my hats, I'm going to use channel 3 and channel 4 for the close and open, respectively. We'll put the triggers there. You can see it's already trying to do something down here. So I'm going to run white out into here, and this is actually summed across channel 3 and 4, so these are both getting the same white noise, but depending on how long the envelope is, they might be longer or shorter. So this I'm going to do like close and open, and it also has a choke, so they choke each other. So this is channel 3, so I'll bring it into channel 3 on my dude. And this is channel 4, and I'll bring it in channel 3 on the dude. Turn up the just mute the close there. Alright, so now we got some percussion. I think the next thing I'm going to do is we're going to set up the sequencing for the VCO and the NIT. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go down to this channel down here, and we're going to actually make this the step. Let's see if I can use a shorter cable so it's not like blocking the angle. We'll just put that into the beat. So I'll go into, what is that, channel 9, and then if you watch, there we go. If you watch, the Vox digitalis is now stepping through notes. And then I can make a random pattern here. If I think it's low. Yep, so I made a little random pattern there. And you can see what note it's playing there. And we might change that pattern up. So I'm going to actually make it step through a little bit faster. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay. And then I'm going to go to the next channel, which is channel 10, Actually, shorter cable on that one too. And we're going to do reset. So I'll go to channel 10. We'll just send it a reset signal for now. We'll have to see what this sounds like, and we'll play around with that. So I'm going to take my pitch out on here, and I'm going to go to my other, there we go, my other little summing mix there, or whatever, mult. Can't think of the name. All right. So for the next step, what I want to do is I need to trigger the RAN step at the same time I trigger the per call. So actually, what I'll do is I'm going to make channel 5 my trig for my VCO. So I'm going to take the trig, mult that so it goes to here as well. As you can see, I already have some information in there. So I'll go to channel, there we go. Yeah, you can see the pattern, it's going. So the next thing I want to do is I want to sample the pitch. So I'm going to take the mult out from the pitch and go into the sample in here. So now every time this triggers, it's going to sample the pitch from my sequence. And I'm going to take my sample out and then go into my 1 volt per octave on my VCO. And I will go out from the VCO into the filter. Might need a little bit longer cable, that one. And we'll just do the low pass output, and we'll send that to the per call. And the last thing I need to do, so we can hear it, we'll take per call out into 3, make sure it's turned down just in case. So that's channel 1 off the per call into 3 here. Okay, I do not know. Oh, I'm not on the in. I'm dumb. There we go. One thing I like to do is you can get the envelope out off of this per call. I like to send it in up here, and then we can actually control the cutoff. I don't know if that is going to be long enough. Let's try a little bit longer cable. We'll use this cable to control the FM. Add some resonance. And one thing I like to do as well is we'll take the pitch output here from my sample, we'll run it into my slew, and then I'll run my slew output to my 1 volt per octave on my VCO. You can hear it kind of slew in this circuit. Alright, there we go. Let's get my other voice in here, and we're going to run it through the effects aid. So we'll do something similar. I got to sample that pitch from the sequence so that they kind of match up. So I'm going to put in another mult here, and I'll put in the trigger. And we'll go from my sample output, or sample from my mult up here that's getting my pitch. We'll capture that pitch whenever this thing triggers. So let's go to that channel and see what it, you can see it's got some stuff already programmed in there. I might be able to do a shorter little cable here. So let's do sample output in a little per octave. And we need to copy that trig as well, so we'll go trigger input here. And I'm going to set up another envelope out from channel 2, because this is where we're going to be going on a per call. So it's actually going to be coming into B, because the problem with that MMF is, as you can see, it's very, very tiny here. You can't even really see. But the knob to control the cutoff is very, very small. So I'm actually going to turn it all the way down, and I'm going to use a little short cable so that I can control that frequency with this bigger knob that's up at the top here. So I can use this knob to control it. So all I got to do now is do the low pass output. I've got a cable here that'll work, I think. Low pass output. And we'll go into the second channel there. Alright. Now I just need to get my audio from the per call. We'll do channel 1 out, or channel 2 out, into my FX aid. And then we'll do left. Oops. We'll turn this way down here, because the channel 4 on this doesn't actually have a volume. It's just straight input. So we'll do left input, right input. I'll turn this off. I have this on chord mode, I think. And we'll turn it up a little bit. Oh, you know what? I'm kind of dumb. I actually didn't run the output here, so we'll run the out from there to the filter. I'm going to go ahead and then you can control the length of note with the per call slider right here. Now, I'll show why I like this wave folder so much on this carbon filter. So we're going to go pick a different wave. Actually, the wave that I have probably is good. So that's a sine. That's a triangle wave. Alright, so we'll go from the 4-pole output here. And now we'll turn on this wave folder. It gives it a totally different tone. I'm going to generate a new sequence here. Add some saturation to this filter, see what it sounds like. We'll put like level 2 saturation. There we go. See the I don't know if you can see this, but the saturation light is lit up down there next to the FM knob. What's great is this is just a triangle wave. It just sounds so good. guess that's about it. I might do some more patch from scratch type videos, maybe with my bigger system. What I love about this is, I mean, you don't really need the dude, and it's pretty much all all inclusive. Everything is right there, right? So I don't need a bunch of external gear to make this work. I can take it to the park, bring a power bank that I can run this off, which I do have, and I can take some patch cables and I can just jam out at the park or something. So I really love this system. I love how improvisational it is. It's really dense. I know there's a lot of little tiny knobs and stuff like that. And once you patch a bunch of cables, obviously, it can be a little bit of a mess. But I really do like this system. And hopefully you guys enjoyed this. I'm really hoping to get back into doing some more videos. I've got an overhead camera rig. And I apologize if there's any background noise. I haven't done anything as far as sound dampening or anything. I'm just recording directly into the mic on my Zoom. So I guess give me any feedback, and I'll continue to try to push out some more videos. I'm really looking forward to getting back on track with my channel. I've been really neglecting it. This year has been tough on a lot of people, and it's been tough to find time to just sit down and do this. And hopefully everybody that's watching this appreciates it. All right, this was Modulated Music. I'm going to sign out, and I'll catch you in the next one.